Hello world, this is Gus again. Hello world. Fertile and Husky, years ago song. Good song. Hello world. Got a little blog here today. Something new. I went on disability back in 94, 95. I guess improved in 96. And I guess at that time I was eligible for Medicare since I started drawing on the Social Security. Well, I guess they have a Part B and a Part A, and you automatically get Part A, I think, which is the hospital thing. But if you got other coverage, you use that first. And then the other part is your Part B for your doctors. But if you don't need it because you've got other coverage, well, then you don't accept that. You essentially turn it down. Now, much to my chagrin, or what the Social Security office has told me I've done wrong. Yeah, this is funny, folks, but all of you that are older that have turned down Medicare and you're going to need it in the future, pay attention. Pay attention to this, because this is good. Well, my wife died a year and a half ago, and I was still covered under her policy, which I've been covered under since 1996. That's why I did not accept Medicare. I did not have to go on the dole. We were covered, no problem. My wife dies December 2007. She doesn't work anymore. But I'm still covered. I was covered until December 2008, and I would have continued to be covered for 3 or 4 more months if I paid for it, which was a little over $500 a month. But it also said, if on the form from Boeing, that if I was eligible for Medicare, then apply. So I applied, and they says, well, you can't have Medicare now because you turned it down. What? Well, you turned down Medicare Act 96, and you should know that you can't do this now. Well, as it turned out, that wasn't entirely true, but I had to go back to Boeing and prove that I'd had coverage since 96. So I wasn't on the dole to the company for what, 12 years. Didn't take any money from the United States of America for 12 years, but now I have to prove that I had coverage from 1996 until the present. So it took Boeing a couple of months to send me a form that said that, because they had no records of the McDonnell Douglas days. That's kind of immaterial. But here's the thing. I get my form letter from Social Security saying your benefits for your Part A, or the medical part, will start in July 2009, which I already knew, and it'll cost me $212 a month, which is okay. But here's the thing, it says, this medical insurance premium includes a premium surcharge because you enrolled later than you could have. Later than I could have. So I call them, I've been going through this a couple of times with these people, so I call them up again yesterday. Oh yes, you were eligible back in 1996, and that's when you could have. So now you're going to have to pay a penalty. And then further compounding it, since your wife didn't work any after 2007, you screwed up in 2008, and I ain't figured that one out. And I thought, my wife died, for God, my wife died. I'm sorry she couldn't work any further than that, but I was covered and I sent you all the paperwork. Their only answer was this: well, we'll send you new enrollment forms. I said, well, what will that change? You've got all the paperwork. I've told you everything I know. I apologized for not knowing what your rule was from 12 years ago. I said, do you know what you got in the mail 12 years ago? So my only answer now is to go to the Social Security office, even though they have all of this information. They've got all the forms that they asked for. They sent me my Social Security card, but I have to pay a premium surcharge for not enrolling back in 2000 and back in 1996. So world, this is something you need to know. And you congressmen, you leaders out there, you bureaucrats who think you're running everything, you take the pride away from us Americans that we're proud to serve in the armed forces. You take away our even our interest in what any of you do, because you do so little for us. So you congressmen and senators, why don't you look into this little crapola thing that's going on with the surcharge for something that many, many Americans then are probably guilty of, because we happen to be covered under an insurance policy for a number of years. Oh, I've rued this day that I had to ever deal with the United States government and Social Security, but that's my blog of the day. Take it for what it's worth, pass it on, ignore it, whatever, but beware, and as like I've told my other neighbors in this world now, watch our backs. Bye now.